Behind the Bitch Check-In. It's a Behind the Bitch Check-In. You don't know what's going on if I don't check in. So it's Behind the Bitch Check-In. Doing a little chair dancing there. It's Thursday. It's Rocktober 22nd. Stuff's going on. Things are happening. I've got a contest going on for naming our new mascot, the Chipmunk. Just go to the Behind the Bits page, and I've got a little video. The Facebook page there, I got a little video about it. Help me name the new mascot and win some merch. Submit your name for the mascot Rocktober 20th through the 31st. So now through the 31st. Then we're going to vote on those names. You just got to do some stuff. You got to like the post, share the post, all the stuff that the places make you do in order to do a contest. So if you could do that, you'll get some merch. We'll get a name. I've seen a couple that I like so far, but you know what? It's not in my hands. It is actually a very democratic thing where y'all vote. So that's the way it's going to be, because that's the way I like to do stuff. Did I mention a couple of weeks ago I saw eagles? I saw that one on a Friday and that one on a Saturday. Kayaking, hiking, kayaking, hiking. That was fun. Bring my little buddy up here, right there, so I know how to point to him. Look at that. My finger disappears. I know how to point to him now, because the video I have on the Facebook page, I took probably 7 takes before I got the point right. And it still wasn't right. So this week is cool. I mean, this is it's Jeff Bodart week, so that episode's been up since Tuesday. It's got a lot of play. Episode 42 is one of my favorites, and I told Jeff that too. So make sure you give that one a listen, and as part of your homework, listen to the Jeff Bodart Adorable and Affordable over on the Spotify, or however you listen to comedy stuff. It's a really good album, and we talked about the way he jokes a lot. And tonight, golly gee, we've got Steve Frito, Jeff Shaw, Mark Masters, and Reva Riley for the big show tonight. And it's at 8 o'clock, and Mark Masters wrote this book that is part of my Patreon. So if you subscribe to my Patreon at a certain level, you will get this book. And it's about Mark's experience as a new comic, goes through his first year of comedy, or first 6 months, one of the two, and is just the best. I mean, it's a great book. I haven't talked to him since I interviewed him for the podcast about 6 months ago. So it'll be cool to see him, and he doesn't do social media. So that's what we got going on. So we got Chipmunk Needs a Name. Got the show tonight. Jeff Bodart episode. Give it a listen. Talk to me about it. But today, I think I mentioned to you yesterday about this Escape Warsaw place. I mean, Lisa and I just had the best time doing their treasure hunt. And it was, I mean, we spent about probably 3 or 4 hours on the puzzles the night before, and then I think it was a solid 7-8 hours the next day, just messing around, driving around, going to the zoo and stuff like that. But and it was just, the way it was put together was just fantastic. We had the best time you can imagine, and it was social distanced. It was outside. We didn't have to worry about going in buildings or anything like that, and got to see parts of South Bend and Mishawaka we hadn't been to, and got to use our brains, which is something people my age should do a lot, because it's getting worse. And so I contacted Mike from over there at Escape Warsaw and asked if he'd pop on and I could talk to him a little bit about the treasure hunt and about this game night that's coming up, the competitive puzzle night, and see if maybe some of you folks want to try to compete against Lisa and I, because we're going to do it. So let's bring Mike up right now. Hey, how you doing, Mike?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Scott.
Yeah. So I got to say, I had the most fun I've had in quite a few months doing your treasure hunt.
Good. I'm really glad. I wasn't sure if people were gonna find it too challenging or if they were gonna find it rewarding, and it sounds like
Yeah,
you're the one that found it
yeah. I
rewarding.
mean, it was both. It was both, Mike. I got to tell you, spoiler alert, folks. I'm going to talk about my son again. So my son's down in Huntsville, and he's a rocket scientist, and he was helping us. And that last one, the one with the Potawatomi Park stuff and the
That's
thingy,
fortune teller.
that's the one that killed us. I think we got all the rest of them right, maybe after the fact, but that's the one that just shot us right out of the water.
Yeah, that fortune teller one is the one that everybody got tripped up on.
Yeah.
That and the one about Bone Park and Cabbage.
Yeah, that was actually, that one was super easy for us.
Good. I'm glad someone was able to just knock that one out, because in my brain it made sense and it wasn't going to be one of the most complicated, but it turned out it
Yeah.
was the second most complicated.
Yeah, that one made sense real quick for us. And as soon as we got to the park, obviously
Mhm.
we well, getting the Bohm spelled out. That was, I mean, it took a while to figure that out.
Mhm.
And my son actually had it done, but he had it with a T at the end, and
Yep.
so he had the T filled up too. But then he said, "Oh well, let's just look up Bohm," and we found it. And then once you went to the park, it was super easy because it's right there. But I was just so impressed with the way it was put together. I mean, we do escape rooms and we like doing puzzle stuff anyway. And it was really nice because we got both the kids on the phone. They're both out of state, and got both the kids on the phone, and we're working on the puzzle stuff that you don't have to go anywhere.
Mhm.
And uh, of course, thought we had one right that we didn't. The one where we had to go to the river walk and get those pictures. We thought we'd just use the so it was what was it? It was a squirrel.
Squirrel,
Uh,
raven,
eh,
dragonflies,
yeah.
and what was the
Oh,
last
a
one?
crane.
A crane.
Crane. Yeah, yeah,
Yep, yep.
yeah. So we had that wrong, but then in a stroke of genius, my wife figured out that we needed to go to the Riverwalk and check it out because it was the over the water stuff. So in those clues, you got to make sure you read everything.
Mhm.
It's really important to read everything. But so that was a lot of fun. Tell me a little bit about this puzzle night you got coming up.
Yeah, so that first thing you mentioned was like you were working with your kids who were remote, and you took 4 hours the night before for
Hmm.
the things that you didn't have to actually travel around the South End Mishawaka area. The puzzle night is basically that. It's the first 4 hours of that. I mean, it's not going to be exactly that first 4 hours of that treasure map. It's going to be formatted a little bit differently, but it's hopefully going to be that level of fun and engagement for that
Hmm.
amount of time. You can still work with your son who's a rocket scientist, and you guys can team up and you can play, but it's not going to require you to drive around anywhere. This isn't limited to South Bend. The very first treasure hunts I did were in Warsaw, so we're going to have some people from Warsaw playing. This isn't going to be limited to even Indiana, honestly.
Yeah.
This is
So
going to have
you could go from anywhere.
Yeah, you can do it from anywhere. I'm expecting the people that have played my treasure hunts to be the people that play this, because I'm limiting it to only 30 teams, so that
Hmm.
we can have a successful inaugural competitive puzzle night. We'll see how it goes. But
Yeah.
so I expect that to fill up with the people that just got done playing the South Bend treasure hunt, and the teams that have played the Warsaw treasure hunt as well. But yeah, it's just going to be the puzzles and the fun and the research that you can do from home, stuff like that.
Hmm. Yeah, and so folks, if he's going to limit it to 30, yeah, he's got max 30 teams right on there. So you got to get to that? It's escapewarsaw.com, right? To sign up.
To sign up for this, you actually are going to want to go to the Facebook page. I'm trying out the Facebook events.
Okay.
They'll allow you to organize it and all of
Okay.
that. So if you want to do it, you're going to want to go to @Escape Warsaw on
Okay.
Facebook, and
And I'll
you'll
share that as well.
Okay.
And yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. And I know that you had to put a lot of time into it. And one of the things I wanted to ask you about the treasure hunt is, did you go find stuff and then work backwards from there, or did you have an idea of how you wanted the puzzle to be, or the map or whatever, and then found something that fit it?
Oh no, it was absolutely working backwards. I wanted to find something visual, so that was that the thing I called the zebra DNA painting. It was actually like a pianist DNA. I wanted to find something with that, but I had no idea how I was going to clue that. I actually started off cluing it as almost like a poem about a back crack and the whirring of a transpo. And I got really far with the map. I'm like, I have way too many words on this map. And I need to start adding things that aren't just words and descriptions. So that one was pretty easy to change from words to just pictures of a baseball, to an envelope, to a picture of a bus, and then basically just say the thing you're looking for is at the epicenter of these. But yeah, everything I found, I don't live in South Bend or Mishawaka. So I would go up there for 4 or 5 hours, several different times, and I really appreciate my wife coming with me. We would split the trips up into, she got to shop for some of it in the places she wanted to shop, and we would eat at places we wanted to eat. But then I would take like 2 hours of a chunk and just drive and just look for something that's interesting. And when I found something that was interesting, I'd ponder on it for a few days to think, how in the world could I turn that into a puzzle? How can I obfuscate this so that it's not completely obvious what I'm talking about, but it's still something that can be solved, as well as some things I was able to just do completely from home. That Lenny Wisniewski, I think was his name.
Yeah.
I just looked and looked for someone that had a very unique name. And that's like the one I'm most proud of, that I actually was able to find an anagram of his name that would absolutely throw everybody off.
Yeah.
So Ken Ernie was also a Hall of Famer who was near the area, and like I don't know how many people got that without the first hints I gave out. But the idea of it is saying he scrambled his way to multiple college championships. Scrambled was the key there. That we're not actually talking about Ken Ernie. We're talking about someone else with a scrambled name. It was working backwards, and they take tons and tons and tons of time to come up with something that will take players that are just absolutely devoted for this thing for like a 24-hour period. It takes me many multiples of that 24-hour period of work to make it so that it'll take you guys that long and still be fun and not just completely insane.
Yeah.
And not make any sense at all.
I
don't know. I think I might have lost you.